Hi and welcome to the Rustic Belly. Today I'm going to show you how to make a traditional Mexican soup called Fideo Soup. Basically a chicken soup with pasta. Yummy! We're going to start off with the veggies. That way we don't have to wash our hands 6,000 times because we're touching the chicken. I like to put carrots and zucchini in mine. So I usually use about 2 zucchinis and a bunch of carrots because that's the only way I can get my daughter to eat carrots. So I'm rinsing out the carrots. I'm rinsing out the zucchini. I already peeled some of my carrots. Use as many carrots as you want, or as many zucchinis you want. I have 5. Just peel your carrots. I have a trash can here, so I'm not throwing it on my floor. Even if I was, guess who's gonna pick it up? That's right, me. All right, let's see. Take the tips off. I like taking the little tips off, and then the ends. Doesn't have to be perfect. And I cook the carrots with the chicken and the vegetables because they're pretty sturdy vegetable and can hold up to being cooked for a long period of time. The zucchini I'm going to put in later because if not it'll just get mushy and disintegrate and it'll be yucky. So I don't want to do that. Get a bowl real quick. So I can have that ready. And I do like to cut them in different shapes because I think it's just kind of fun. I have my carrots in circles. So we're going to do the zucchinis in half moons. Why? Because we can. And sometimes if I'm in the mood, I'll cut them into like even quarters. Like little pizza, I guess pie shapes. But guess what? I don't feel like doing that today. I had a migraine yesterday, so I'm a little off. So I'm just going to take it easy. But guess what? Everyone still has to eat. And actually soup sounds really good when you're not feeling good. So that was one of the reasons I wanted to do a soup. I'm going to teach you how to make a little bit more different kinds of soups, but it's a good thing to have in your repertoire. And it's almost summer here in Arizona, so not many more days of 75-degree weather. Okay, I also put in, like this, you see the celery looks sad? It's okay, you can still totally use it. I already used the insides for another soup I made, but I'll just go ahead and cut all these bits off and wash them. Keep the leaves. There's a lot of good celery flavor in these stalks still. Just rough chop them. Eventually, after all this, we're going to take the carrots out. We're going to strain everything and just kind of take the carrots out. And when we make our soup. Okay, I use usually a whole head of garlic, but it's about 3/4 of one. Not a big deal. I chop it up, put the whole thing in. I don't even bother peeling it. I do, however, peel my onion. I'll put a whole onion in there. I'll take the onion paper out. Get this out. This one's being a little bugger. Stubborn. And it's not going to taste like a garlic and onion soup. I promise. I promise, I promise, I promise. You're adding so many other flavors, and it seems like a lot, and you're not used to using this much garlic or onions. Stick with me. We're going to use a lot of garlic and onions. You should always have garlic and onions in your kitchen. How big? I also use cilantro. And I have not a whole bunch. I just used some yesterday. I made some pad thai yesterday, so I used some there. It looks like a lot, but again, it adds a lot of delicious flavor to your soup. I don't usually use the stems, but for a soup like that, I will use the stems. Just make sure these are already rinsed out, and go ahead and go through it. Make sure you don't have like, oh, see, good. See, I'm so glad I did that. This wouldn't kill you, but just take out those little brown bits. So put that in there. And these I froze because I'm not saying I don't ever waste, but they were really nice stems, and I'm like, oh, I'll just freeze them in when I make a soup. I'll shove it in there. Boom, done. So got that. And my little secret that I like to do in my soup, I put in a can of tomato sauce. You can also just put fresh tomatoes in there if you want, or a can of diced tomatoes. But I like putting tomato sauce gives it a nice little red hue. And that kind of tells me that it's the Fideo soup for me. I really like that part of the soup. Kind of differentiates it from a chicken noodle soup or a regular soup. Rinse out your can and get all your tomato stuff in there. Got it? Okay. Thank you, Richard. All right. Okay, now we're gonna do the chicken part. I buy my chickens when they're on sale. I am that person who goes to the store and will buy 27 of them. Not that many, but I usually will buy a lot of chickens, and I freeze them for this purpose, so I can make soups or, you know, roasted chicken, because you can get a lot of meals out of a chicken. Like this soup, we'll use maybe a third of the chicken, because you're going to have pasta in there and vegetables. And let me turn it. We're gonna rinse out the chicken. You don't have to wash it, but see how that disgusting, that's kind of nasty? Yeah, you just want to rinse all that blood out. It's gross. But it's good to do. I used to make it when I would take out the skin because I was, you know, trying to be healthy, blah, blah, blah. It's not as flavorful. Your chicken doesn't taste as good. So once that's rinsed out, you don't have to pat dry it because you can just stick it in water. Stick it in your pot, and if you need to, make more room, shove some things in the carcass. It's already dead. It's not gonna feel anything. Wash your hands, but you're already done with that. And that's how you start the basics of your soup. It's pretty simple. The one thing my mother did tell me to do is always put cold water in your pot. I never asked her why, I don't know why, but I was like, okay, she said to do it. I don't always listen to her, but every now and then, you gotta give them a little credit, right? It's not easy being a mom. Fill this up, and we're gonna get it on the stove, and we're gonna add some chicken bouillon. I'm gonna show you my favorite chicken bouillon. Fill it to about, you can cover your whole chicken. If you want a richer sauce, here I'm actually gonna move this around a little bit, because I do want the chicken to be covered more. There we go. Oh, it doesn't look pretty. I think it looks so pretty. I love those colors. I love those colors. All right, so I'm gonna put that on the stove. Wash my hands again because you touched the chicken. And we're gonna start this to a boil. Once it gets to a boil, I'm gonna lower it to a little bubble gurgling thing, and we'll come back and show you, because it's really important not to keep your soup boiling too hard, because even though it's being cooked in liquid, it can still get dry. This is my favorite, as you can tell by the large size of bouillon. I like to use Nor Suiza. Yummy. I don't measure, I measure, but I don't know how much this is. Let's say about 2 tablespoons. That's what I kind of start off with. You can always add more salt. It's hard to fix it once you've added too much. So I'm going to leave that for it to start boiling. I'll put a lid on it so it can get hotter faster. And then when it gets to the right little simmer, we'll come back and show you so you don't kill your chicken twice. Alright. See? She's boiling. And we don't want to keep it like this because I said you will kill your chicken twice. I'm going to lower mine to about a simmer. And, well, see, you don't want to do that all the time. Like the whole time, it's just too much. It's too much. And if you need to cool it off, kind of slow it down a little bit. Let the stove cool off, but let me see. It'll cool off in a minute. Well, that's lowering to how I want it. I'm going to show you. This is the Fideo part of it. It's just really a thin pasta. They sell some Mexican packets of Fideo, but I like using an angel hair pasta. It's just more accessible. I use about half a box of angel hair, and I do cut it because if not, it just gets long and stringy and it's really hard to eat it with your spoon. I cut it in thirds. I'm just going to break it off. And you want to brown it. You get that lovely face? It's awesome. My triple chins. Triple chin! Here goes again. Oh good, thanks. We're not showing it. Break it. A little bit of olive oil, probably about a tablespoon in there. Get your pan hot. And you just want to toast them, get them browned up. And if you want more pasta, I mean, when you make it, you want more pasta next time, obviously add more pasta. Depends what kind of mood you're in. If you're in a pasta mood, if you want more broth. I like soups with more broth. I'm a broth girl. So that's what my favorite part is. All right, now let's see where this is still. All right. Probably still go boiling a little too much, so I'll still let it cool down a little bit more. And you have to watch it. This is gonna take, give it at least minimum 2 hours to cook. And then you want the chicken to also cool in the stock, in the broth, probably for at least another 2 hours. Because it's like 12:45 here, this is gonna be dinner. That's how long this takes to make, because you just really wanna give your time and attention to it, because that's what makes chicken soup at home so yummy. Just taking it easy. Namaste, namaste. So here are my pasta, you can kind of see too. Some of them are browning. They're kind of fun once you get to this brown stage to chew. They're really good and crunchy. And some of them might get a little darker than others. That's fine. It's not a big deal. And I don't cover it completely. I just kind of half, not really half, but just leave a little crack. But come in and check it every now and then. Because my stove, I don't know why, but again, it fluctuates. You just don't want it to just get to a crazy boil again. This is probably good. See how it has like, it's not big bubbles, it's just slow bubbles. And it'll calm down a little bit too once the heat goes down, because I only have it on simmer. So if it goes too flat, I'll turn it up a little bit and kind of regulate it. But give it at least 2 hours to cook. And then when it's done, I take it off the stove or put it on a trivet, and I just let it all kind of room temperature together. And then I'll show you what I do after room temperature. I'll show you. Then these are almost browned up. Lost a couple of them. See, oh, so good. See, these dark brown ones are so yummy. Okay, so anyway, this is what you do. Oh, really hot. Careful. And then you can just leave these, move them from the heat. That's good enough for all these. And then we'll wait to add them to our soup. We'll add the pasta to our soup later. All right, see you in about 4 hours.